and welcome to Soap Secrets. Today I have got Claire Ruck joining me. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Hannah.
Okay, shall we start with Coronation Street? Because it's my favourite storyline again.
I know.
And Fizz is going on a date, right?
Yes.
I know, I love it.
I know. So last week she got asked out by Phil while she was working in the furniture shop. Good old-fashioned way, that's what we thought, wasn't it, Hannah? Good old-fashioned. He came in.
Love it.
They flirted a little and he said, would you like to go on a date? And she said yes. And it's lovely. They go to the bistro, of course. Of course,
because everyone, it's nothing like a bit of privacy in the street.
No, absolutely none. And he's a really nice guy. And they're sitting there laughing, having, the date's going well. But who else is in the bistro? Of course, you guessed it, Ty and Alina. This is just, you couldn't make it up, could you? So
it's just so, if you could write the narrative of most, I would, not all, but most sort of relationship breakdowns and this kind of happening, it's like you don't want the person, but you don't want anyone else to have the person.
Yes.
And you can just see where this is going. And oh my goodness me, Fizz deserves this smug face, doesn't she?
She does. Because Ty's been really horrible to her because she asked him to have the girls while she went on the date and he refused and said he was busy. Well, actually, he wasn't busy. He found out where she was going and took Alina there so he could spy on her. So he's been really petulant. It's been really childish. And he is consumed with jealousy and he glares at them all night. Alina gets the hump, obviously, and she strops off home because you would, wouldn't you?
You would.
And he's just sitting there drinking more, so he's a little tipsy. And he's been making snide remarks. And when he goes to pay for his and Alina's meal, his card is declined to add to his humiliation.
Oh, that's just so embarrassing. But just so, honestly, just desserts.
Yes.
That phrase was meant for that.
Yes. And Phil, being the really super guy he is, he's trying to keep the peace. He pays for Ty and Alina's meal, which actually is really nice because I suspect, it's going to be 30 or 40 quid, isn't it?
At least. Well, yeah.
And
especially if he's drunk.
Yes, it'll be more than that. Well, yes. So, and then Ty, who is so humiliated, he then takes a drunken swing at him. It's great.
Oh dear. Oh, I love this. This is absolutely brilliant. And tell me, what's Fizz's face like in all this? Is she sort of secretly smug or just embarrassed, or because this Phil guy's a bit of a catch, isn't he?
I think he's a bit of a catch. I've seen him. He's got a nice line in shirts. Actually, I thought so. And he's tall and he's
very important.
Yes, yes. He's not in one of those. He's not in skinny jeans and a dodgy top. He's a man that's dressed properly. He's got one of those Alfie Moon shirts, and so I think he looks great. So yes, so she's a bit bemused, I think, by it all because to her, Ty has moved on. He left her, set up house with Alina. So why is he being unpleasant when she's on a date with a man?
Yeah, well, we know why, don't we?
Yes. So
because really, he's not. It's all cut. The wheels are coming off.
It is, and the street's going to be awash with gossip because all this has happened in the bistro, not in some bar in Manchester where you don't know anyone. This is right in the heart of Coronation Street that their dirty laundry has just spilled out.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. It's absolutely brilliant. And the calendar. Tell me how the calendar's going, the naked calendar.
I love this. I absolutely love this. And the fans will get to see some nakedness, Hannah. So, it's all about... Woo.
Very good, very good, very good. We'll love a bit of nakedness.
Yeah. So Kevin's having his shoot done in the garage, obviously, and poor Abby walks in and gets an eyeful, and that's a bit much for her. So we do see a naked Kevin, and he's got sort of this fake moustache and a bit of a cowboy hat. So, yeah, he's looking great. And then poor Debbie walks into the corner shop and she gets an eyeful of a naked Dev, who oddly, I thought would have a Santa hat or a cheeky smile, but he's got this sort of bunch of grapes around his head in a kind of like a Roman emperor kind of thing going on.
That is just something else. I love it. Not even a bit of holly, or that would be a bit spiky, I suppose, on your bits.
It's brilliant. So I'm not sure how the ladies of Weatherfield are going to cope.
No, I don't know. That is such a funny storyline, isn't it?
Yes, I think it's lovely. I think it's really nice.
And Curtis has a secret that he hasn't told Emma.
Yes, so we all like that Emma has got this relationship with lovely Curtis. Yes, he has this secret and he hasn't been telling Emma. Steve at first thinks that he's cheating on Emma, and he has a fatherly word with him and gets a bit, don't you hurt my daughter because I'll hurt you. And I think that's kind of sweet about Steve. I think that's lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, Curtis confesses to Steve what his problem is, what his secret is, and he makes Steve promise not to tell anybody else. And when Curtis ends things with Emma, is it really over before it's begun? Because you know what, they're made for each other, and let's hope that maybe Steve, because he knows this secret, he can bring them back together.
Let's hope so, because it'd be nice for that one to work.
Yeah.
We don't want all sadness. Oh gosh, do you know what? I'm still the fizz and tide. This is going to rumble and rumble. I absolutely love it.
It does get really, really good in a couple of weeks' time.
Love it, absolutely love it. Now, Emmerdale. Obviously, all of us fans will know by now that Meena killed Leanna and her dad. Liam is distraught.
Yes. So the fans would have been shocked, because I didn't really think Leanna was going to die. I thought Jacob was, firmly in her sights, because Jacob is the person stopping her being with David. But Leanna. Lovely Leanna, she's an innocent in all of this, because she only got killed because Manpreet gave her the
rucksack.
The rucksack, which contained the trinkets. So, and her daddy's distraught, as any father would be. Meena is really evil, and she meddles. She likes to meddle, and she likes to see people's pain. And so, Liam doesn't know what to do. His new wife, Layla, is frantic with worry when she can't find him. And, Layla and David also have history. So David is being there for Layla as well, because she needs support. Her stepdaughter has just been killed, and her husband is really distraught. And so Mina's upset that David's always over there trying to help his ex. And she decides she's going to find Liam herself. And when she does, she finds him slumped on a bench at the crematorium. And as they chat, poor Liam has no idea that he is talking to his daughter's murderer, because it's been the police aren't looking for a murderer. They just think it was an accident, that somehow Leanna fell off the humpback bridge. Maybe she was taking people do fall, don't they? They take selfies and things, and it's all, and people fall. So she could easily have just lost her balance and fallen. But we all know, obviously, she didn't just fall. So he has no idea. And she gets him to go back to the village, but she meddles. And she suggests that Liam clear out Leanna's things. I think that's a little soon, really.
Oh, definitely too soon. And it's just her meddling again, isn't it?
Yes,
Stirring up all sorts of trouble.
Yes.
The trouble is no one's onto her. This is the problem, because... how long can this go on?
Well, it's a soap, so as long as it's as long as the writers want.
Yeah, you need to bring me back to reality. It's a soap, Hannah. Yeah, I get it.
People must, at some point, she has taken the ring, which is this trophy, so I'm guessing that at some point must come into play.
Yeah, it must do. It must, yeah. I mean, you can't let a killer stay on the loose forever, although we are seeing it in other.
Yes. Well, Gray now has been for nearly it must be about 9 months now.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's killed 3 people, so yeah, I think maybe
she's got plenty of time on her hands. Let's be honest.
Yes, she has. So she's meddling, and she's sort of it's like rubbing salt into a wound. She's really, really quite unpleasant, and. Layla's shocked that she would suggest this and has a go at her, but the damage has been done. So
he's already going to do it. Yeah, that's the trouble. Oh, and Jimmy and Nicola, they're trying to patch up their marriage, aren't they?
Yes, they have a date night. Love them.
Yeah, the trouble is that kiss.
Yes, there's that kiss, and also they've been rowing for quite some time. The kiss was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. And Nicola borrows a sexy dress, and she plans a romantic evening. But Jimmy's a nice guy. I know he's not Mr. Perfect. No guy is Mr. Perfect in any way, shape or form. But Jimmy is certainly not Mr. Perfect, and he often gets things wrong. And he's overwhelmed with his guilt at his kiss with Mandy, and he confesses all to Nicola. What will she say?
I mean, it's probably the best thing to do, because if you're going to start again and try and make things work, you kind of need to come from a place of honesty. But it's whether, I mean, Nicola's fairly fiery, isn't she? I mean, she's not
very
likely
fiery.
I mean, she's not likely to take that lying down. I mean, does he want to be with Mandy? I mean, do you think it was just one of those, in the moment things?
I think it was one of those in the moment things, because she was being really nice to him. But Nicola and Jimmy have a lot of history. History.
Yeah.
They would be silly to. He would be silly to throw all that marriage away.
Yeah, He would be very silly. But will she make that decision for him? Will she leave that there? Hollyoaks.
Yes,
it's Brody and Summer's wedding.
We love a good soap wedding.
We do, and they always end up with a bang of some sort.
Yes. So, Hannah, you know what? I think you and I should go to one of these. We need to get ourselves as sort of, a part as extras. What do you think?
Oh, I come with a cameo role. I've got plenty of fascinators and hats in the wardrobe that I can pull out for the occasion.
Yes, certainly. All we need is, 4-inch heels, a fascinator, and a good push-up bra, and we're good to go.
Yeah, I love it. Let's do it, Claire. It's a date.
So we know one thing with a soap wedding. What's that, Hannah?
It's not going to go to plan.
It certainly isn't. And a revenge wedding's certainly not going to go to plan. And I don't think Summer's revenge is even going to go to plan. So we know, the fans know, that Summer is planning to expose Brody on the happiest day of his life as the wedding commences. So just a very brief recap. Last October, Brody, Warren and Felix attacked Summer's dad, Cormac, for his abuse of Felix when he was a teenager. And they beat him so badly that they left him in a coma. Cormac subsequently died in February, and Summer blames Brody for her dad's death and has been scheming to expose him ever since. And so she's been scheming. She decided she was going to do this on the wedding day. She set about to break up his relationship with Sienna, which she did do quite successfully, obviously. And she got herself into his life, and then he proposed. And add to the mix the recent steamy affair she's been having with Sienna as well, and the fact that she has kidnapped Liberty and is holding her hostage. What can really go wrong at the wedding?
Mean, what can possibly go wrong? What can possibly go wrong? Is she actually going to just... Is this, oh my gosh, it's going to be
anything
awful.
Could happen. It's a wedding. So
yeah. I think one thing that will not happen is them getting married.
Yes. So we do know that Liberty had a pair of tweezers last week. Has she managed to escape? Is she going to turn up and say, Summer kidnapped me? Is Sienna going to stand up and say, don't marry him, we've been having an affair, we're in love, etc.? She could do that. Or something completely different could happen. Or Summer could get her revenge and say, hey, Brody, you killed my dad in front of everybody.
Yeah, and then the police arrive and all the rest of it.
Yes. So what we do know is Warren's son, Joel, makes a shocking discovery, and he confronts his dad, and they vow to confront Summer. But what have they discovered?
Oh, so it could derail all of this anyway.
Yes, it could be, yes.
Well, and in lots of twists and turns in Hollyoaks.
Yes, loads of twists and turns. And in the aftermath of the wedding, Brody is in turmoil, but Summer is determined to continue with her revenge plan. And as an innocent bystander gets caught in the crossfire and Sienna doesn't know who to believe, has Summer finally got her revenge?
But then if Sienna is questioning things, because I don't think Sienna's into it as Summer is, do you?
No.
No, exactly. So maybe she might deny it all. Who's Brody going to believe? Yes. This could all backfire.
It could. It could. We don't really... And just about anything could happen.
Anything could happen. It's a soap pair. It's a good reminder mood.
It's going to be a good one, though.
That is an episode absolutely not to miss. I mean, that is... mind you, Hollyoaks have always got episodes not to miss, but that is particularly good. And you can't miss a soap wedding. Might get
No.
dressed up anyway.
Yes.
Not so much in EastEnders, because we talked about Isaac's mental health episode, and we kind of discovered this week that he is actually in a mental health unit, and
Yes,
it has a very different, very real feel about this one, doesn't it?
Yeah, they have done it very well. EastEnders, so we saw Isaac having his mental health episode, the police were called, and this week he is in a mental health unit where he is getting the help he needs. And yes, it is very distressing to watch, and just because he's in a unit doesn't mean to say that everything is plain sailing. It's not going to be plain sailing. He had a huge episode. And he doesn't want to see his mum or Lola. So everybody is still in crisis. So, his mum's very distressed that he won't see her. Lola is distressed that he won't see her. So, it really is reflecting real life.
Yeah, it really is. And it's quite sad to watch, I'd imagine.
Yeah, yes, it is.
And if we didn't need any more sadness, it's Jag's funeral this week.
I know. So he was murdered in prison a couple of weeks ago, and his mum Suki really isn't coping at all. And we know Suki as being quite a hard nut, don't we?
Yeah, we
Hannah?
do. Yeah. So it's quite interesting to see her break.
She's broke. She has broken quite. She's broken wide open on this one. She got Jags to go to prison to take the rap for something his brother did, and now she's blaming herself for the death of her son. And we normally see her being nasty to people, but here she's really not coping with the funeral. We see her vulnerable side. She's struggling to keep the shop open. It's an interesting watch to see Suki showing her vulnerability.
I quite like it when they show different sides to characters. It adds a bit of extra depth to them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than just seeing a hard nut all the time.
Yes.
And Mick gives Frankie another driving lesson this week.
Yes, but we all know what happened last time she got behind the wheel.
Yeah.
So she's a bit nervous. I think I'd be a bit nervous, wouldn't you, Hannah?
I would be very nervous, and I'd be nervous driving with anyone who's a new driver, but let alone this.
So yes, so after her last driving lesson with Zach ended with her knocking down her sister Nancy. Of course, her nerves are shot. Will she spill the beans to her dad Mick that she was driving the car that knocked Nancy over? Because nobody knows, and that's a massive secret. And it's a very tangled web because Zach and Nancy are flirting up a storm, and Mick's not very happy that Zach's flirting with his daughter. And what will Mick do if he were to find out that Zach was in the car as well?
Yeah, what will he do? It's good. I can see that it's all going to go horribly wrong again.
Yes. Well, they've got so many secrets, that family at the moment, the Carters. So Frankie's keeping a secret about that she was the one that knocked over Nancy, and of course Mick and Linda are keeping the secret that the baby she's carrying is Max's. So.
And they need like a truth table, don't they? They're like
Yes.
a truth table where you're just like, okay, whatever you've got to say has to come out now. Just hit us with it because we need to know and start again.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
God. And it will all come out, but it will trickle out in the worst possible way, no doubt.
Yes, I know. So, Easterns have lots of things because as we talked about Meena, of course, Gray, where's Gray going? I mean, him and Chelsea, you and I decided they were the next Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Has he bitten off more than he can chew with Chelsea?
Almost certainly. The thing is, Claire, one thing to say on that very, very happy note of EastEnders, which always leaves us on a very happy note. Happy viewing, because the football is done now. There's no more football on in the house. You may or may not be pleased to know. But yeah, soaps are back in force, and we will be back next week. Thanks for listening.